So with that again, you can also decipher that they are being scammed or other things. Now, how do you discover when a thing is being scammed?
They're being scammed.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I said, when they're feeling this way, when they're going, most time when they're being scammed, they don't speak up. Yeah, they wouldn't want to speak up because they feel they failed, and so we just use this. There's this click story we can use to teach them. That a girl made a mistake. She clicked on a gift post that they sent to her. Okay. And then when she clicked it, it's up because it happened that it was a scam. And then they just took and they sent messages, negative this into her, all her contacts. Okay. And then there was before she could know what was happening, all her contacts, they got the negative message. So just you to explain to them when they are feeling this way, just call them and let them they are your kids, they're your teenagers, they are or they call it mumu button. You know where to press, you know how to question, they know how to bring them, not that judgmental way. Just bring them close, ask them. If you made a mistake, everybody make mistake. I tell my children, everybody make mistake, even adults make mistakes. It's another thing for you to make mistakes, another thing for you to admit, and then you can always start, it's a story that you have to tell. Nobody live this life, without making one mistake or the other. But you must not keep making mistake. For you to avoid making mistake, you must realize the other mistake that you made so you can correct yourself. So if you're being scammed, just if they are being scammed and they are not speaking up, trace their mode and then question them, have time with them, can take them out, have a time with them, a chat with them, make them feel comfortable with you, and then get to the root of it and you solve it out with a teamwork. Yeah.
Well, is it okay if you share your own experience with your teens when it comes to things like that? Because, like you said, every one of us at one point in time in our life we've gone through such. Either being scammed, either online, physical, whatever. As long as they let for them to know that even mommy, daddy has been scammed at some point, but this was how we went through it and we're able to overcome it. But again, it's also a lesson for you to avoid predators.
Yeah, sure. It's okay. It's okay to share your experience. Like me, I was a teen mother, right? Yeah, I was a teen mother, teenage mother. So I shared the experience with my teen daughter. I tell her this are my experiences and how I was deceived. This is what happened to me. You know, you should avoid those mistakes. I plan as a teenager. I was smart. I was a good girl. The good girl thing you will call. I was
Mm.
a good girl, but this is the way. There are some people that when they discover you're a good girl, they go another way. They come as a good guy and they use another means to deceive you. So I
Mm.
share this experience with my teenager. Yeah. I tell them this is it, the scammers, and then the one online too. I shared with them. Yeah, I've been scammed online. So I shared the experience with my daughter. So you have to, so another thing is to share this thing with them. Another thing is to use age appropriate information. Okay.
Mm.
When I said sharing this story with my daughter, so when she was 14, when she was 14 years old. So the younger one, there's a way you have to tell them, there's a way you tell them. Because when you tell them the stories, we tell them, there are some things you tell them, we don't know how to handle it. So you have to know how to handle it and then use the age appropriate information to tell them, with time, allow them to grow. My daughter that I shared this with, she's 19. So I opened up to her, and when I said open up to her, I said she was 14. So yeah, it's okay to share the experience with them.
Mm. Thank you very much for that. So now, where is the line drawn between invading their privacy and being protected?
Invading protecting them is my responsibility.
Mhm.
Their privacy, they have to earn their privacy. Okay, if you feel that you want to have a privacy and you will respect your privacy, then you should prove it. You have to prove it to me. Protecting you is my responsibility. I have to protect my team. Yeah. So if you feel that you're old enough, You don't need anybody to intrude in your privacy. Then you should earn it, you should prove it. Your behavior, your attitude, you know. I tell my team that if I'm looking at your phones, your jokes, your chat, it's not because I'm trying to, um invent your privacy, but it's just that I'm trying to make sure that I'm trying to know the people you're talking to. I'm trying to know your friends. So I tell them stories about how friends deceive friends, what happened to friendships. Some friendships are not trustworthy. I try to bring those stories to them, show them these pictures. So protecting them is my responsibility. If they should talk about their privacy, they should earn it. They earn their privacy. If you want to have your privacy, I should be able to know that yes, you're matured enough, be able to take care of yourself. But I must know the friends that you're talking to. I don't need to read your messages or your jokes, but let me just know the app that you're using and the friends that you're talking to.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. That's actually a good one. But again, we still need to give them a benefit of the doubt to to be able to, because again, they need to make their mistakes, but it shouldn't be that terrible. And also for helping them to understand that as much as mom is being careful, you also need to let us know that you're capable of being, we can trust you. Thank you for that. Now, you talked about messaging and then your daughter having to be chatting in an unknown app where a lot is going on. Now, what are the step by step that you as a parent would advise other parents to take? Perhaps you've done it before in your family and you would like to share with us the step by step actions that you were able to use to help your child come out of that scenario.
So in my family, I tell my children, when someone is chatting, when you discover this set of people, don't delete the message. Just take a screenshot. Don't delete the chat, don't delete the message, don't delete the photo. Take a screenshot. You know, then stop talking. Do not reply. Do not even say leave me alone. Don't struggle. Don't argue with them. Don't say don't leave me alone. Then tell an adult. Report it to an adult. Bring it immediately. And then I promise them I'm not going to judge them. I'm not going to judge them. I'm not going to take the phone from them. So you just have to tell your children that you won't judge them. Make them understand and believe you. That you won't, not that you tell them that you won't judge them at some point, you not start judging them or even seizing their phones. Because when you do that, they will not trust you again. I said, I won't judge you. I won't seize your phone. And then I keep to my word. Then we block. The next thing is block and reports. You know, we use app tools to block the people. That's what we do. We block them. We block those negative people that chat. We block them and then we report them. You know, so you just tell your kids, delete, stop talking to them, tell an adult, block and report.
Okay. Well, before we finally round up, while you were speaking the other time about when we talked about having to know when you're invading their privacy or you're being protective, and you said something about them, proving that you are able to trust them. Now, with this question, when do you think is you can revisit boundaries that you've set, especially when individual and teenagers, when they begin to show responsibility? Is it okay to revisit the boundaries, the goals, like, okay, would I say the rules?
Yeah. I'm willing to say it's okay to revisit you know the boundaries. Like me, I'm willing to rethink screen time, screen time limits or where they use their device. Because sometimes, we put this that you must not use your device to so place, maybe your bedroom and all of that. So I'm willing to rethink screen time or where they use their device. If they show they can get their homework done, sleep well, stay honest, about what they're doing, we can move in the no phone in bedroom. We can move in, to more flexible, trust-based agreements.
Hmm.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Any advice for parents who actually at the moment are going through a lot, that their teens are being depressed as a result of cyberbullying, as a result of scams, and all of it? What would you advise, and how would you, as a parent, show your motherly support or parental support?
Yeah, thank you. So, digital revolution has made it much easier for young people to get into trouble right from their home. You
Mm.
know, before now, you get a security if you're the working and the 9 to 5 kind of parents. You get security, you get maid, you get nannies. But now those things don't work. So you have to pay more attention to them because digital revolution has made it much easier for young people to get into trouble right from their room, their bedroom. Social media, is supposed to be an essential tool in a digital world, but it's supposed to be for their advantage, but is being used in a bad way. So I advise parents to pay more attention. Thank God some parents work from home right now. Yeah, some work thrice or twice a week. So pay more attention. And then these things they learn by example, not that just what you tell them, but what they see you. Because right now, most parents are addicted to their phones. They're addicted to their, to gadget, they're addicted to device. So you have to teach by example. What do you want them to do? How do you want them to handle it? You show it to them by your action. Don't just not just what you tell them, but what you do. How do you handle your phone? Do you use because you see you go to most homes, you see husband is using the phone, the wife is using the phone, the kids are using everybody. In fact, they communicate with phones, So there's no that's close. They might be the same in the same house, but they are not communicating. Everyone is on gadget, everyone is on phone, everyone's on laptop, desktop. So I think you should pay more attention because a lot of things are going on. You see, an 8-year-old child telling you a lot of things, secret thing that even when we're 18, we didn't even know these things. You'll be wondering what's going on. So you have to teach them before as they're growing up. Don't say this a 2-year-old. Okay, for an example, most parents, when they have this baby, when they have their babies, and the baby is crying, disturbing them, do you know what they do? They
Take
put
the
on
phone.
cocomelon, and give it to the baby. Sorry, take. And of course, the baby will take, and it will feel better, feel good, and you start smiling. And if they keep growing up like this, they'll feel that their happiness is based on that gadget. You understand? So let's reduce that screen. Let's reduce giving them screen, even at that tender age. There are some other things they can use. Toys. Some people don't buy toys again. What they buy now is tablets, laptop, phones for little babies. I mean, let's go back to the old age. No matter, I know everything is civilized, everything is modernized now, but let's go back to that old age. Give them toys. Let them play with toys. Let them tear papers. Let them scatter so they can learn. They can be balanced, not
Mm.
just phones, tablets, laptop. Please. Thank you
Thank you
so
very,
much.
very much. It's been wonderful speaking with you. Thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And to you out there, thank you too for being part of the show. Well, digital transformation has really made a lot happen, but again, it can be checked, it can be worked on, and as parents, it's very important that you watch your kids, you watch what they do, and you're open to helping them. And like Miss Gift said, you need to create that boundaries, and when it's time for you to revisit the boundaries, there should be some things that you're able to check out of your list. Until then, remain blessed. Bye.